Welcome to Class 23 of Practical Lawyering, entitled Managing Phones and Voicemail. Now, we've been talking during this class about how to create a new type of practice, one that depends more on technology than on traditional methods of doing things, the purpose of which, of course, is to achieve greater efficiency and leverage. 20 years ago, lawyers relied more on paper and things like correspondence and letters and so forth, whereas today the focus is more on things like email. And most lawyers who use email typically manage it themselves and don't depend upon secretaries or assistants to help them. Again, the watchword for our new practice model is self-sufficiency, being able to do things for yourself. Of course, it's great to have a secretary or an assistant to help you do the things that you need to do as a lawyer. But the reality is, the old days of that ever-present assistant who handled all of your affairs for you is gone. And that's even true when it comes to handling phone messages and phone calls. That's because here again, the connection between computers, the internet, and telephones is merging to make things completely different for lawyers. So today, if a lawyer is starting a law practice from scratch, the odds are he or she is more likely to go get their cell phone first rather than start by getting an office phone. Obviously, the advantage of cell phones being that you can use them anywhere and receive calls anywhere. Hardly anyone is going to rely on a primary phone system that requires you to be stuck in one place in order to use it. The first thing that we need to take into account is that cell phones are going to be primary in our law practice. The only problem with this, of course, is that your cell phone is used for personal calls mostly. What if you don't want your clients to know your personal cell phone number? You certainly don't want to build your entire business around a cell phone number, so you don't want to use your cell phone number as your business number either. Obviously, you could forward your business line to your cell phone whenever you were out of the office, but that would be cumbersome to set up. So you need two phones and one business line. And you need things set up so that when a client calls your business line, it rings both your office phone and your cell phone simultaneously. And ideally, your office phone would send your voicemail messages to your cell phone so that you wouldn't have to go hunting for them when you were out of the office. And of course, as long as we're dreaming up things that we'd like to have, there's one more thing that we need to add to our wish list. Wouldn't it be great if we could get our faxes delivered to us when we were out of the office as well? After all, faxes typically come through the phone line. However we set it up, we realize that we're not going to have a secretary. Okay, so let's talk about our options. Google Voice is a new offering by Google that allows you to have one phone number, which they will assign to you, that will go to all of your phones, as many as you want. But why don't we let Google explain how its service works?
A Google phone number is like a regular phone number, except it's not tied to a phone or a location. It's tied to you. When somebody calls you, they just call your Google number, and they don't have to decide to call you at home, work, or on your cell. And with a Google number, you choose where it rings. It can ring all your phones at once, or different phones based on who's calling. When your friends call, have it ring your home and cell phones. When your family calls, all your phones. And when your chatty neighbor calls, have it go straight to Google voicemail.
Hey, Vincent, what's going on? Hey, Vincent, it's Craig. Hey, Vincent, are you there?
Listen to voicemails from any phone or online,
Hey, Vincent.
or read automated transcripts of voicemails. When you change jobs, move homes, or switch your phone service, just update the phone numbers that your Google number rings. Your Google number stays the same.
My recommendation is that you go ahead and sign up for the Google Voice service so that you get a phone number as soon as possible. Then tuck it away and you can decide whether you want to use it later. While Google made no mention of using this as a business line, obviously you could do that if you wanted to. And as you noticed, any phone call that came from a friend or relative would automatically be sent to your home or your cell phone, whereas all other calls would go to your business line. So this is exactly what you want. And the thing that's really nice is that when you get a voicemail message from your business line, you automatically get it emailed to you, and also you can have a text message delivered to your cell phone to let you know that a voicemail message came in. The only downside to Google Voice is that it doesn't include a fax service. We've talked about web-based fax systems before, and essentially what you're going to do is have faxes delivered to you by email. So this is a very desirable thing, and it would be great if Google had that included. However, it doesn't. I use a service called RingCentral, which does essentially the same thing that Google Voice does, but at a cost. However, the cost is not very much and also includes a fax line at no additional charge. RingCentral also allows you to direct calls based on the time of day. So in other words, you could have your office phone ring only during business hours and then have a certain voicemail message played after hours. Or you could have it ring to your cell phone after hours if you wanted to. Okay, well that wraps up class 23 of Practical Lawyering. And I think we've said everything we need to say about phones and voicemail. The only thing I'd want to tell you is go ahead and sign up for the free Google Voice number, because even if you don't use it, which you probably will, at least you have it available to you should you choose to use it later on. Alright, see you next class.